Thank you. And now we have Attorney Jesse Limanek, who was proxy voted by the Fat Man Coalition, who's also going to speak on the 2014 convention.
Good evening, everybody. How you doing? My name is Jesse Limanek. I am a resident of Sutton, Massachusetts. I am an elected official. I am a member of the Sutton School Committee. I am a former candidate for state rep. Of course, I lost against the machine, but that's a story for another day. But I, as an elected official, had the opportunity to participate in Sutton's RTC preliminary meeting, in which the delegates were chosen for our town to go to the convention. At the meeting, it was my first time, I'll be honest with you. You know, I'm a college professor. I teach this stuff theoretically. You know, I spend time dealing with college freshmen and their idiosyncrasies. So I'm used to dealing with that. So my entry into politics, you know, came from the theoretical perspective. I did it because, you know, this is what I've been talking about, and I wanted to become involved. You know, that's why I first ran for the school committee. You know, I was just an angry, pardon my French, but pissed off parent who was upset with the way things are going in the district, and I wanted to see if I can get in there and, you know, bring about some change. So, long story short, because of my outspokenness on the school committee, somebody in 2012 decided to write my name in as a write-in candidate to become a member of the RTC. So not only was I invited to the town RC meeting because I was ex officio, but I was also a member. Of course, like many RTCs, Sutton does not have an active RTC. We met twice in the 2 years' time. Once was shortly after the initial election, and once was this meeting, this convention, to select our delegates. So I went in there again, just trying to observe the process, just trying to experience it, and also try to participate. So again, we're going to keep it short. We had a presentation about who the gubernatorial candidates were. On one hand, we had Charlie Baker, and all the praises and platitudes of what he is going to bring, how he is going to save the party, how he is going to win. You know, I know. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Right. I'm sure we've all heard it before. So I sat back and I took it in. And then, after the praise for Baker was done, Mark's name was mentioned for the first time. Hey, I just got to let you know, there's this guy named Mark Fisher from Shrewsbury running, and we don't really know anything about him, and he really doesn't stand a chance. So why don't we vote to maintain unity? Buzzword that we've heard a bunch of times. Unity. So why don't we pre-endorse Baker, and then, as delegates, we would all have the opportunity to vote again. Again, I had no idea what was going on, and I'll admit it was my own fault. So I just raised my hand and said, okay, and went along with the flow. In the meantime, Mr. Fisher starts sending, I'm assuming because I'm a delegate, or maybe I was just lucky, but his mailers. And the first one came in, okay, it was pretty impressive. We had common hairdo, which was you know, I like that very well. And I put it aside, put it on my desk, and I'll get to it later. Then the next one comes, and then the next one comes. And I actually take the time to sit down and read. Hey, this man stands for something.
Hear, hear.
Something that I believe in. I go on his website, I dig more. I watch a couple of YouTube clips, I learn more. I am excited. I have a chance to vote for Mark Fisher. Fast forward to convention day. As was mentioned by Linda, it was long. It was drawn out. My district, we were at the extreme back end of the arena, so we had a good view, but I mean, talk about being really out of the loop. We just kind of sat back and watched things proceed, and it just seemed to drag on and on and on. Well, Charlie Baker comes up, music's playing, everyone's excited, Mark speaks. It was quiet, but I sat back and went, yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy. But as Linda mentioned, after the speeches were concluded, not once was it mentioned, well, now, delegates, it's time to vote. I didn't even have our district's representative walk up and down the aisles. I didn't even see her. So I assumed, okay, this is going to happen. They're going to make an announcement. Maybe we're going to go up along, the mezzanine level, and maybe that's where we vote. So I get up and I go up there, and I was hungry, so I grabbed lunch, and then I come back to my seat, and the next thing I know, all my fellow delegates start leaving. I'm like, well, what's going on? What did we miss? Oh, we already voted. Really? When did that happen? Back in January. So, now in the meantime, just to let you know, I ran into Mark. I ran into him a few hours before he gave his speech. And I went up to him and I shook his hand. I said, you know something, Mark? I like what you have to say. I agree with your principles. And I am going to be honored to vote for you on this day. And I'm sure he sat back, okay, this is just some other, crazy guy. But, he shook my hand, he took my card. We had exchanged a nice conversation. So I was all fired up. I was excited. But, as Linda mentioned, we were never told. We never had an opportunity. And at least for my RTC, we were never even told that our vote, our proxy vote, was binding. We were never given the opportunity to cast that vote. So I was denied that opportunity. Which, again, if we're here to talk about the reality and the shenanigans in which the Mass GOP perpetually engages in, what happened to me in my little corner of the world, if that's indicative of what's going on in the 351 other districts or cities and towns, then that speaks volumes. And we as a group, we definitely have an uphill battle to fight. But I think we have one thing on our side that they don't. We have principle and we have passion.
Yes. Yeah.
So this hopefully is the beginning of a better tomorrow.
Very nice.
There we go.